E don boss again, oh. Wahala promise. Abeg make una listen to this video. Abeg make una listen to am.
5.2 million Britons just did something that's never happened in modern history. And now King Charles has just 48 hours to make a choice that could end the monarchy. Stay with me. Right now, Britain is living through its worst constitutional crisis in 200 years. The government's approval rating, the lowest ever recorded. And one petition has shattered every political record in UK history. But here's the twist. The king is trapped between two impossible choices. Save democracy or destroy his crown. Stay to the end, because what you're about to hear will change the way you see British politics forever. Let me take you back 3 weeks. At first, it looked like standard political frustration. Approval ratings sliding, ministers under pressure, and nothing Britain hasn't seen before. But then came the spark. A petition appeared on Parliament's official website. One simple demand: call immediate general elections. In the first 24 hours, 100,000 people signed. By 48 hours, 500,000. By the end of week 1, 2 million. And instead of slowing down, the signatures exploded. 3 million, 4 million, 5.2 million, and still climbing. That's more than the populations of Scotland and Wales combined. That's nearly 8% of the entire country taking direct action. And that's why this isn't just politics. This is a national outcry, and it could be the breaking point of Britain's monarchy itself. So the question is, what will King Charles do? Stay tuned.
I fled from Obinomba, Nigeria, to Onitsha, Biafra. My Igbo-speaking family fled from Nigeria to Biafra, and we fled because thousands of Igbos from southeastern Nigeria were being killed in northern Nigeria. That organized killings of Igbos occurred from May 29, 1966 through September 29, 1966. That civil uprising preceded the war between Nigeria and Biafra. That war began on July 6, 1967 and ended on January 15, 1970. 1 in 15 Biafrans died during that 30-month-long war. In the list of the worst genocidal crimes of the 20th century that was committed against humanity, the death of 1 in 15 Biafrans was ranked 5th. In the evening of March 21, 1968, the day my hometown of Onitsha was captured by Nigerian soldiers, we fled on foot and fled from 14 Mba Road, Onitsha, Biafra, to Merchants of Light School, Oba, Biafra. Tens of thousands of refugees that fled from Onitsha were camped at Merchants of Light School, Oba, Biafra. At about 6 o'clock of the following morning of March 22, 1968, we were alerted by fleeing refugees that advancing Nigerian soldiers had captured Onitsha and might capture our refugee.
When innocent taxpayers demand accountability from their leaders, you begin to see the breed of irresponsible leaders we have in this country. The worst part is that they all demand maximum respect from the same citizens whose future they have looted. They demand this respect as if they have done nothing wrong. Recently, the Federal Minister of Works was seen on live TV displaying an act of shamelessness. You all saw his response when he was asked to give the cost per kilometer of the coastal line project he is in charge of. He flared up in anger, telling the innocent TV presenter that he was too small. Too small how? When you were coming for the interview, what did you expect to be asked? Did you expect Osheni to polish your shoes like others do? I was ashamed on his behalf. You could see him shouting, "I'm a professor, I'm a professor." Who made you a professor? A professor of what? I never knew we now have professors in practice. What a colossal disgrace.
And Nigeria and the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is insisting that nothing can divide this country.
Okay, listen good. People that said Nigeria will not divide are the beneficiaries of the Niger Delta oil exploration that started in 1958. Before these thieves, these ex-convicts, British ex-convicts left Nigeria, it was 2 years after discovery of oil in the Niger Delta region. So that's why their hands are still in Nigeria. Biafran agitation is being sponsored by most Americans, America Igbos. That's why you see United States working hard to make sure that Nnamdi Kanu comes out and will conduct referendum. But when you talk about UK is a thief country, is a criminal country that still cling on to Nigerian natural resources. It is because of our crude oil that they don't want to remove their hands from anything Nigeria. Nigeria is another branch of UK. Haven't you heard from Putin, Russian Putin? When Putin said that Nigeria is just like a branch of UK industries, manufacturing industries. Yes, they benefit from Nigeria. That's why they can't live to see Nnamdi Kanu come out. And the cost that Kanu laid on Britain is on cost. Heavy storm that actually destroyed most of the United Kingdom cities last week is a cost. The kind of katakata that is happening right now in Buckingham Palace, Queen Elizabeth compound, is a curse from Nnamdi Kanu. So what I'm saying is that Britain is the reason why Kenya is suffering. Britain is the reason why Nigeria is not working. Britain is the reason why Biafra agitation is not going on well. Because they don't want Biafra to sit away from Nigeria. Actually, if Biafra sit away from Nigeria, the whole coastal line of Biafra belongs to us. Belongs to us. While Nigeria will just go empty-handed. Because Nigeria is just desert. I'm telling you the truth. So Britain is the problem that Nigeria remain a deadly country today. Security, nothing. Food, good governance, for where? And Nigeria is gone. And Britain is the major cause of Nigerian problem. So Britain is working hard to make sure that Igbo man is not gone home. I'm telling you. Nnamdi Kanu's effort has been dashed often and often to remain in the prison, to come out for where? It is because of Britain. If not because of Britain, why shouldn't Britain play consular role? Nnamdi Kanu is a citizen of British. He's a British citizen. And Nigeria is not. Nigeria is working. Nigeria is working with Britain. Nigeria is Britain. Britain is Nigeria. Nigeria is not listening to United States of America. United States of America is for Biafra. You don't know how it goes. I'm telling you, Britain today is the problem that Igbo man is having. I want to shock you that the coup of 1966, who made it? Igbo coup. Britain. BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, announced that it was Igbo coup. That's why everything, turned against Igbo man today. Listen and listen good. Britain will never be alive. Igbo sit away from Nigeria. That's why their death, annihilation of the whole Britain has come. I'm trying to remove Ireland from UK. They are not among. Scotland from UK. They are not among. Listen. Isle of Man, they are not among. Wales, they are not among. Scotland is not among. It is only England. England is the problem. England. This premiership, when they go, let's say, United, Arsenal, Man United. They are England, not Scotland. Scotland has their own league. Ireland, they have their own league. Wales, they have their own. Rangers is from Scotland. I don't understand. So it is England. England is the problem that UK has today. And UK, the British is the problem Biafra has today. So what I'm trying to say is that America has been working around the clock, favoring Biafra agitation to make sure that the Igbo man is free. Because America, you see, is largely Jews. And the Igbo man is largely Jews. That's why Biafra agitation, America is on it to make sure that referendum is conducted in this part of the world for Biafra to be free.
But do you think that because of the oil and gas, that's one of the reasons why Britain is saying never in their lifetime will Biafra secede from Nigeria?
And that is why they will never be alive, not even one of them, because Biafra is succeeding already. I see Nnamdi Kanu marching out victorious from Kuje prison or BSS facilities, and Britain is going down to hell because they are rogue country. As I said that the only criminal Europe country we have is Britain. I'm saying so because they're interested in oil and gas of Imo State. Oil and gas in Anambra State, oil and gas, all the Niger Delta, Britain is a thief country. They have posed in a way to tap from it because Nigerian political juggernauts are errand boys to the British. You could have at least remembered how this man dealt with Britain. Abacha turned his back on them. Abacha did not play any neocolonial policy with Britain. He turned his back on Britain. And you see how our economy was stabilized. Our economy was unstable. Instability. Because Abacha is not looking at towards Britain. Abacha is minding only our business here, giving us good governance, and our economy is stabilized.
Okay, but you guys are saying never in their lifetime with the atrocity against the Christians continue. Why they keep watching the Christians dying here and there? Is a lot of people saying, can they send, I will not call it military or security force, to at least for some time help the Christians here in Nigeria? Since we yesterday, not recently, we saw Al-Qaeda strike in Kwara State, you know, and we know that Kwara have been, you know, actually been taken over by these Fulani terrorists.
They have taken over there.
But do you think it's at time the US sent military or whatsoever to?
I can see it playing out.
Yeah,
I can see it playing out. It's unfolding towards that direction. America is coming with their military forces to help Christians here because it's obvious that Tinubu is just playing politics with blood of the Christians. That's why he actually aligned Muslim ticket. Kachima Chetima himself is a terrorist. Everybody all around the world knows that Nigerian vice president is. But Tinubu is the one that used the blood of the Christians in the southwestern Nigeria, in the southeast, all over Midbelt to play politics. Christians are dying in their large number, and the Tinubu is relaxing, laughing, and they claiming that all is well with Nigeria. Listen good, all is not well with Nigeria. Christians are dying in their large number in Nigeria. It is the high time Americans come to Nigeria with their military support to fight insurgents that are maiming and subjecting Christians to genocide. It is obvious that America is for Christians in Nigeria, and they are going to do much more to help subdue Christian genocide in this part of the world.
This advice I won't give you, Tinubu, as a man that wants to be famous, but if you do this thing, your name go reign. Even 100 years after you are gone, you go still be popular, Mr. Tinubu. And what is it? Divide Nigeria. That's right. Divide Nigeria. You have the power to divide Nigeria into 3 different countries. Odu Nation, Biafra Republic, Arwa Republic. 3 different countries. Yes, some people will squeeze you, some people will threaten you one way or another, some people will try to even empty your bank account. Whatever they want to do, make them do. The fact is that you are going to reign, you are going to trend more than every single one of them. Even after you die, your name still going to reign. How? Because each of the republic go create their own public school. In public school, what do we teach? History, founding fathers, independent, first president. There is no way Republic of Biafra go create curriculum for primary school, secondary school, university without bringing your name in there. Right now, when people talk about Nigeria and Nigerian history, without even trying, you go hear Lord Lugar. Without even trying, you go hear British. And like play, Oyibo name maintains relevancy without him having to do anything new. They reign, they go because of they have inserted their name and identity in everybody's history. So you cannot talk about your history without including white man. But when we divide Nigeria, we scrub, we wash his hands off of our identity. At that point, he becomes a Yoruba man named Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the year 2023 divided Nigeria. It will no longer be British Empire, Lord Luga. Instantly, white people is washed out of our history. And then you, Yoruba man, you begin to the trend. There is no way Arawa Republic go talk about social studies without mentioning creator or divider of the country. You understand me? There is no way Oduduwa Republic will talk about Odu Republic without mentioning your name. Right now, when we talk about our history, British enters our history. Even when we are not trying to mention British name enter our history. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, think of this thing that I'm telling you. Them go name you founding father. Them go name you liberator. Them go name you all kind of great things. You will feel more satisfied than this Nigerian presidency rubbish is bringing you. Half of the country, almost all the country can't stand you. Even Yoruba people don't like you. The ones who like you are the ones where you give something job. Most Yoruba people don't like you. The one, normally, when you see people where they praise you, it's usually guys. I haven't seen video where a woman they praise you. If they praise you, somebody give her money. Exactly my point. So, if you truly want real love, divide the country. No one will ever forget you. Biafra will never forget you. Every time we talk about our history, who made the Biafra reality, we will remember you.
Nigeria is like a household that is not a family. There's a difference between a household and a family. You could have children of the same parents in one household, but if there's no cohesion, there's no unity of purpose, and they're working at cross purposes, such family will never make progress.
It becomes like an unhealthy amalgam of your unwilling.
Exactly. It becomes a house of commotion. But at the same time, you can have a coming together of people that are not necessarily people of same bloodline, but with well-defined ethos, and they form a family, well-bonded family, and they begin to work in sync with each other, harmonize each other's individual interests into their common interests, and go all out to achieve such interests, and they become prosperous. And I've had the argument severally too, that the reason for Nigeria's problem, the reason for Nigeria's disunity, the reason for Nigeria's inability to transform into a nation of citizens from a country of tribesmen has to do with our history. We need to think outside of the box at this point to find solutions to our problems. And it begins with debunking of these myths, some of these fallacies, putting our history in proper perspective, so that when you urge people to embrace national unity and social cohesion, you're not urging them to commit suicide by their own perception. You are urging them to embrace life and living as it's supposed to be in the 21st century. So for instance, it's a fallacy. Anybody who tells you that Nigeria or Nigerians or the constant peoples of Nigeria had nothing in common before 1914, for instance, it is popular belief that the white man came and clubbed us together, we had nothing in common, that we were disparate peoples, and so that is why it's difficult. And some people are saying, for instance, it's that you create states along all ethnic lines, and for them saying, let us break up, we can never be one nation. And so this is a fallacy. This is actually opposite of what the reality was, because our history, our customs, our tradition, our languages, and the proximity of our individual geography suggests otherwise, and clearly shows that long before 1914 there were interrelations between the constituent peoples of Nigeria through trade, through warfare, through diplomacy, through marital ties, and so on and so forth, even beyond the current borders of Nigeria, into Cameroon, for instance, into Niger, into Benin Republic, and into Chad. So in fact, the cultural commonwealth that should have been Nigeria is actually incomplete within the current space. So meaning that we have even more in common than what divides us. So for me, Nigeria is like one black African family, a largely Mauritian entity, with the various sectional or ethnic groups simply a plurality of the same black African family. It's like having a bird with beautiful feathers. So it's one bird, but the plumages are simply a reflection of the beautiful feathers that makes up the beauty of such a bird. That is how Nigeria ordinarily is supposed to be. And evidence abounds to suggest this. I'll tell you this for free. Some people are today identified as Southern Nigerians, for instance. We are once Northern Nigerians, long before 1914. And in Africa, unlike what we have today, in ancient Africa, unlike what we have today, Africans had a traditional system of citizenship that ensures social cohesion, assimilation and integration seamlessly of anybody who moves from one part to the other. Something that we don't have today. Today, Nigeria still does not have democratic citizenship in the system, even though the constitution allows for that. So, if you ask me, our ancestors were more civilized than those of us that are actually their descendants today.
Wow.
Because they are connected to each other more. There was no settler indigenous dichotomy 100 years ago, 200 years ago. If that was the case, for instance, Oduduwa would not have left wherever he came from. Either from Benin, as some say, either from Mecca, as some say, from heaven, from somewhere in Ife or Mala, in Kogi, wherever he came from, and settled in Ife, became king, and became the progenitor of an ethnic group. He was definitely not an indigenous of Ife. It is something, for instance, for Bayajida, who was said to have come from the Middle East and founded the 7 regional Hausa states, and the not so original 7 Hausa states. History also shows us clearly that there was a southward movement for the old Kwara region, the Jukun Confederacy, through the Benue Valley, across the Niger, to northern part of where you have Azibo land today. And they moved freely across both Anambra State, current Anambra State, and throughout the Anioma region. There are people from northern Nigeria that have seamlessly fused across the board. They are called the Igala people, for instance. It is also a fact that Arochukwu is the point of dispersal for the Efiks, the Ibibios, and the Aros across southeastern part of Nigeria. Evidence abound about our common ancestry, and that's why our languages are very similar. The only thing is, we've not paid attention to our history enough to see the commonality in us enough for us to accept each other and understand that, look, when Azikiwe, who's from Onisha, a part of southeast Nigeria, a part of Igbo land that traces its ancestry to Benin, partly, and another part of its ancestry to Ida in Kogi State, while the other parts of Onisha also trace the ancestry to Arochukwu, that when he left Onisha, for instance, and was born in Zungeru by his parents, and then he moved to Lagos to play his politics, he was simply what Yorubas would call Omowale, because Benin Empire is ancestrally linked to the Yoruba-speaking part of Nigeria. So if a son of Benin, if a Benin man who became acculturated as an Igbo man in Onisha and decided to come to Lagos to play his politics, he should have been regarded as a stranger, enough to cause hostility across his other half, which led to multiplicity of other problems. And this is the situation for all Nigerians. Anywhere you are found today in Nigeria, whether you are living in the north, living in the south, living in the east, you are supposed to be accommodated as a bona fide member of the family who simply have moved from one part of the family compound to the other. And that's why I was very amused when I see people laying exclusive claim to the territory of Lagos. And I said, people don't even know the history of Lagos. Lagos represents the mosaic that is the cultural commonwealth of Nigeria long before 1914. In addition to the Aboriginal Aworis and the Egu people of Badagry, you had Yoruba-speaking communities that moved into the island to trade from the neighboring environment, or you can come from the Oyo Empire. But most importantly, it's also a historical fact that the Obaship of Lagos is a progeny of the Oba of Benin. You see the mix. It's also a fact that a prominent family such as the Osho, the Tapa family of Lagos, traced their origin to Bida, northern Nigeria. And that's why they are called Oshoditakwa. That means Nupe in Yoruba parlance.
Oshoditakwa.
Now, it was interesting to know that when they talk about Muslim ticket was so rife, that President Bola Tinubu was going to run with a Muslim from Borno, I told you that if only you know the history of the Tinubu family of Lagos, you will agree with me that it's not only a Muslim ticket, it's a Borno ticket, and it's a Kanuri ticket. Because the patriarch of the Tinubu family is actually Malam Mahmoud Bagara from the old Kanem Borno Empire, who migrated to Lagos, married Madam Tinubu'S, the famous trader, who didn't give birth to a child for him though, but was allowed to marry other women and sell children that now took on her name. So the biological bloodline of the Tinubu family have their distant ancestry from the old Borno Kanem Empire, where Shetima comes from today. So Shetima and Tinubu are actually brothers, children of the same parents. But this is the truth of all of us as Nigerians. So I've also made this illustration to understand that Nigeria has no business not being a socially cohesive country. If only we realize that we're indeed essentially one people. And until we have this realization, something has gone wrong with our democracy. And our democracy is not going wrong. It's not wrong because of imperfect elections alone. There is something responsible for imperfect elections. You see, in 1960, because those who call our founding fathers failed to acknowledge this oneness and this commonality, so they negotiated from the British a country called Nigeria that was rigidly carved along ethno-geographic fault lines. So our federative units, from the regions to the provinces down to native authorities, were rigidly structured along ethno-geographic fault lines, which gave rise to a very debilitating phenomena in a democracy: identity politics of ethnicity and religion. If there's any democracy that is caused, it is that democracy that is principally driven by identity politics of religion and ethnicity, because it's always a zero-sum game. It is a majoritarian kind of democracy. So if you have an ethnic group that is dominant in a place, it will always win an election, whether or not the contestant is qualified for the office or otherwise. As what happens is this: the reward system, and this is the most important thing about our democracy, the reward system for identity politics is usually corruption, simple and short. So when you hear, I voted for the president, I worked for him, and I was not given appointment, I was not given enough contract, I've not carried along, it means on the table where the national cake is being shared, somebody has been outsmarted or overlooked. So it's about sharing. Other international scholars, in studying Nigeria's democracy, come up with another concept in political science. It's called prebendalism. And what is prebendalism? A situation that is uniquely Nigerian, interestingly. This is almost uniquely entirely Nigerian. Prebendalism is a situation where appointive and elective political office holders have a full sense of entitlement over their sphere of government influence. So for instance, if I'm a minister today, I'm expected to use that as a reward given to me for supporting the president. And what am I supposed to do? I'm not supposed to be there to carry out any national assignments. I'm supposed to use that ministry to service my own section of the country. So for instance, if there will be an employment opportunity in my ministry and I have 50 slots to be employed or to be filled, I'll make sure that my tribesmen get 45 of those slots.